You think you understand money, you don't. What you understand is the story you were told about money, and that story was never designed to make you rich. It was designed to keep you calm, cooperative, and spending. Here's the part almost nobody says out loud. Wealth today isn't primarily a financial phenomenon. It's a psychological one. The rich aren't rich because they found a better spreadsheet. They're rich because they operate from a completely different internal architecture. How they see risk, how they see time, how they see themselves. Everyone else is playing checkers with numbers, while a small percentage of people are playing chess with identity. Let's start with the first uncomfortable truth. Most people don't have a money problem. They have a nervous system problem. Every decision you make about spending, saving, investing, or avoiding money altogether runs through the same emotional wiring that developed when you were a child, watching how the adults around you argued about bills, celebrated a bonus, or went silent when an envelope arrived in the mail. You didn't inherit a bank balance. You inherited a relationship with scarcity, and that relationship has been quietly running your financial life ever since without you ever agreeing to it. This is why financial advice so often fails. You can hand someone a perfect budget, a perfect plan, a perfect number to hit every month, and they will sabotage it. Not because they're lazy, not because they're stupid, because the plan conflicts with an identity they've been unconsciously protecting since childhood. If somewhere inside you believe that people like you don't get to be wealthy, no spreadsheet will save you. You will find a way to prove yourself right. Machiavelli understood something about human nature that modern personal finance completely ignores. He wrote that men are moved more by what they fear losing than by what they hope to gain. Read that again, because it explains almost everything about how ordinary people handle money. Fear of loss is stronger than desire for gain. That's not a personality flaw. That's a survival mechanism, thousands of years old, and it is completely miscalibrated for modern wealth building. In the world your ancestors evolved in, losing resources could mean death. Today, losing a little in the market to gain a lot over decades is simply how wealth compounds. But your nervous system doesn't know the difference between a bear market and a saber-toothed tiger. It reacts the same way. It screams retreat, and most people obey that scream their entire lives, wondering why they never get ahead. Now here's where it gets more interesting. Because the wealthy have figured out something the rest of the population hasn't. They've figured out that money is never really about money. It's about status, identity, and control. Dressed up in currency. Watch how people actually spend, not how they say they spend, and you'll see it instantly. The car isn't about transportation. The watch isn't about telling time. The neighborhood isn't about square footage. These are signals. They are answers to a silent question every human being is constantly asking about everyone else. Where do you rank? Advertisers have known this for a century. They don't sell you a product. They sell you a version of yourself you're afraid you're not. This is the mechanism the poor and the middle class get caught in, and the wealthy exploit without ever saying it out loud. The middle class spends to look successful. The wealthy spend to become more successful. One is consumption dressed as achievement. The other is investment, dressed as ordinary life. Look closely, and you'll notice something strange. A lot of genuinely wealthy people look almost unremarkable. Modest cars, simple homes, nothing that screams money. That's not an accident, and it's not modesty either. It's strategy. When you stop needing to broadcast your position, you free up an enormous amount of capital, financial and psychological, to keep building instead of performing. So why doesn't everyone just do this? Because status seeking isn't a choice you make consciously. It's a program running in the background, and most people never audit it. They think they want a bigger house because they need the space. They think they want the new phone because the old one is slow. They rarely ask the deeper question, who am I trying to prove something to? And why does their opinion still have that much power over my bank account? Here's the second hidden truth, and it's the one that actually separates people financially over a lifetime. Wealth is not built by earning more. It's built by tolerating discomfort longer than everyone else is willing to. Every wealthy outcome you admire, the paid-off house, the investment portfolio, the business that finally took off, was preceded by years where the person doing it looked, from the outside, like they were getting nothing for their effort. No proof, no feedback, no applause. Just a quiet, invisible accumulation that meant nothing to anyone watching and everything to the person living it. Most people cannot survive that silence. They need evidence early, and when the evidence doesn't come fast enough, they interpret the absence of proof as proof of failure. So they quit the plan, cash out the investment, take the smaller job with the immediate raise instead of the harder path with the delayed payoff. This isn't a failure of intelligence, it's a failure of psychological endurance. And endurance, unlike intelligence, can actually be trained, which is exactly why the wealthy keep getting wealthier. They've built the muscle. Everyone else keeps trying to win with willpower alone, and willpower runs out. Now let's talk about the part of this that feels almost like a betrayal once you see it clearly. The financial systems around you were not built to help you win this game. They were built to be profitable, and profitability and your prosperity are not the same objective, even when they're sold to you as if they were. Every buy now, pay later button, every subscription that auto-renews in silence, every credit line increase that arrives disguised as a reward. These are not conveniences. They are friction removed from spending and friction added to saving, engineered by people who understand consumer psychology far better than the average consumer understands their own mind. Machiavelli would have recognized this instantly because his entire body of work is about exactly this dynamic. The people who understand the mechanics of influence will always have leverage over the people who assume the system is neutral. The system is not neutral. It was never neutral. It rewards those who see the architecture, and it quietly extracts from those who don't. Here's the uncomfortable identity shift this forces on you if you're honest with yourself. You have to stop asking, "How do I get more money?" and start asking, "Who have I been trained to be with the money I already have?" Because the truth is, most financial transformation doesn't begin with a raise, a windfall, or a lucky break. It begins with a person looking at their own behavior and realizing, with real clarity, that the behavior was never really about money at all. It was about fear. It was about proving something. It was about numbing discomfort, chasing approval, or avoiding a conversation with themselves they'd been avoiding for years. The wealthy at their psychological core have simply done less of that, not because they're morally superior, not because they deserve it more than anyone else, but because somewhere along the way, they separated their self-worth from their spending and their identity from their fear of loss. Once that separation happens, decisions that used to feel impossible, walking away from a bad job, saying no to a status purchase, holding an investment through a downturn, suddenly become simple. Not easy. Simple. There's a difference. Easy means it doesn't cost you anything. Simple means you finally know exactly what you're choosing and why. And here's the final piece, the one most people never get to because they stop the moment they feel understood instead of pushing further into what that understanding demands of them. Knowing the psychology behind wealth changes nothing on its own. Insight without action is just a more sophisticated form of procrastination. You can watch 100 videos like this one, nod at every sentence, feel that little spark of recognition, and change absolutely nothing about your life. The people who actually shift their financial trajectory are the ones who take one uncomfortable insight and turn it into one uncomfortable decision. This week, not someday. So ask yourself honestly, where in your financial life are you still performing instead of building? Where are you letting an old fear make decisions that your adult, capable self should be making instead? That question is the actual starting point. Not a raise, not a new investment app, not a better budget template. A different relationship with the fear that's been quietly steering you your entire life. The wealthy didn't out-earn everyone else. In most cases, they simply stopped being afraid of the things that keep everyone else stuck. And the moment you understand that distinction, you can never quite see money or yourself the same way again.